And I am live. Good morning and welcome to another broadcast where I literally just roll out of bed and start streaming. um, yeah, welcome. Today it's early in the morning, so it only makes sense that we're going to walk through a fermented breakfast recipe. Now, this recipe here, sorry if I'm fumbling my words, I am still waking up, but um, I can't speak. I got this new jar here, and I'm going to use it to make fermented oatmeal. Now, unfortunately, as this is a fermented recipe, I can't eat it for breakfast today, but that's quite all right because within 2 days, 1 or 2 days, we're going to have some delicious fermented oatmeal. And this recipe is actually incredibly simple. You are going to need sourdough starter. And if you don't have sourdough starter, lucky for you, I just filmed sourdough, how to make your own sourdough starter video and first loaf of bread. Now, that I'm editing right now, but I'm super excited about that series. Yeah, it's going to be kind of like the first getting started at home fermenting, and it's going to walk you through how to make a sourdough starter using either rye or wheat flour. I just got this. This is one of my newest fermenting accessories. Check this out. Pop top flour. Now, why did I get that? Actually, this is so fun. I just literally poured flour into it yesterday. I actually pretty much ran out of flour making this series. I have a couple more starters down here. I had to go through a lot of flour just to make and test and figure out how to do this properly. So anyways, I got this pop topper. Definitely recommend if you are going to be making sourdough, because when you're going through these bags of flour and you're doing this and you're scooping, you're putting dust all over the place. It's hard to get the shovel in there. Shovel. What I mean shovel, I say this. So this just makes it so easy. I even have the scooper in there still. Why not? Just pop the top, scoop it, done deal. Don't have to fiddle with bags and elastics and wiping up the spills. So that's my tidbit of the day. So anyways, here we go. Let's make some fermented oats. And what was I saying? Something about sourdough. Anyways, yeah, the series is coming out. It's going to walk you through how to make a starter and how to feed your starter, maintain it for the week until you can bake your first loaf of bread using either rye flour only or wheat flour. So if you don't like wheat, I got you covered. So here we go. Let's do this fermented oatmeal, as I got to be a little bit quick today. Got a bit of busy morning. It's also garbage day, so I got to run out and do that. But I just love doing this live thing, and I'm honestly having so much fun with fermentation, and I love it. And happy to share it with you guys because it's all about the gut health, and yeah, that's what I like. So, anyways, I got this book. I've had this book for a while now, actually, by Shannon Stonger. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's called Traditionally Fermented Foods. Now, my evening, I like to sit down and read when I get a chance, and I was flipping through this book. This book I actually bought for my wife to make sourdough years ago, like 2 years ago, before I was even into this. And it worked for her, and she literally only used the book for sourdough. And I just got into it, so I flipped through the book, and I was like, man, this book has so much stuff other than sourdough, and I'm learning a lot from it. So this recipe, this oatmeal recipe I'm about to share with you now, came from that book. And again, super easy. I made it as a test experiment about a week and a half ago, I'd say. And I think I may have even showed live. Anyways, it was bubbling away, and I had no idea what to expect. All I knew is the result turned out amazing, and it was like much more sour than I expected. I let it ferment quite a bit, but I really liked it. Anyways, here we go. The recipe is super simple. I just got this brand new 2-liter jar to make it. The first time I didn't have a 2-liter jar, but the book calls for it. It just makes it easier to give more air and bubble in room and all that stuff. But anyways, so you're supposed to use 2 cups of steel cut oats, but I don't believe I have 2 cups. So I have some regular oats there. I'm just gonna mix, see what happens. I'm not too concerned about it. Now, I also have some fun things to share with you guys as I'm cooking away here, but let me just switch my camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just measuring 2 cups of oats. I think it may have even been 3 cups of oats. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, okay. See, this is what I mean. That pop top would be super handy right now. It's getting all stuck in the corner. I can't deal with that. Anyways, oh, it smells good. Oatmeal just smells good, guys. I tell you what. Okay, so that's not quite a cup, but considering what's remaining in there, I'd say I'm gonna have about a cup. So let me just do that. Pour the rest of what I got and making a mess, of course. Where's that? Yeah, that's all right. I'll be scrubbing away here, this countertop. Okay, so there is the first cup, and the recipe calls for 2 cups of oats. Okay, so I wasn't too far gone there. All right, so now let's do. These are just regular, good old-fashioned rolled oats, folks. Okay, so I'm gonna open this bag up, and yeah, quite a bit difference. Yeah, so that's the steel cuts. And now, oh, this is actually easier to scoop. For one, there's a lot more oats in there to grab at, and I don't know, less crummy, I guess. Pouring that in, making a little bit of a mess. It's gonna vacuum again today, I guess. Okay, so there's the 2 cups of oats. Okay, so we got that in there, and it's very simple from here, really. You literally just add 2 more ingredients, water and sourdough starter. Now, you can also add kefir to it, and apparently sourdough in general just loves kefir. If you mix kefir into sourdough, it makes magic happen. Now, I've done that actually pretty much as I could, and I've always had good results. So I mixed kefir into it last time, and I was actually making labna at the time, where you strain the kefir and the whey drips down. So I added some whey in there instead of water, and that it fermented well. I'm just gonna say that, okay? And it was delicious. So sorry. Mm, early morning coffee. Okay, I'm actually I am making kefir right now, and I haven't looked at it yet today. You guys want to check it out with me? Let's take a look. This one, now this was an interesting kefir um, dealie here. I actually had run out of milk, and it was freezing, pouring rain, and oh, well, that's not bad. Looking like I've got some thick chunkies. I'm gonna be straining that actually. Yeah, it smells good. um, I'll be straining that. Oh, by the way, kefir, second fermentation, my favorite so far. Just some simple coffee. If you strain that and put a little bit of coffee in there, obviously cold coffee, let it sit in your fridge for like until the next morning or whatnot. It is the best latte you'll ever drink. I promise you that. I was thrilled. I actually put all this effort into all these little secondary ferments for kefir, and one, I'm just like, I'm just gonna pour. I have a little bit of cold coffee left. I don't want to waste it. I just poured it into it, put it in another smaller jar. I didn't make enough because I didn't have much kefir at the time, but it turned out my favorite by far. So maybe it's just because I like coffee, or maybe it's just an extraordinary mix. Who knows? Anywho, that's that. So now what we simply want to do to these oats is literally just inoculate with some sourdough. Now it says 1 tablespoon. Now I did bring a specific measuring tablespoon, but you know what? I'm just going to use my good old wooden spoon because I'm going to stir this at the same time. So let's add some bacteria to these oats, shall we? So let me do this. Ooh, this is looking nice and bubbly and alive. Check this out. This is not, this is, yeah, this is the rye sourdough starter I made in the upcoming series. Lots of work to edit these series, and that's why I like these live things. You can see, no, that's not mold. If you see like white stuff around there, that's just all my cloths getting stuck. I'm going to be transferring my starter to a new jar and washing this. It gets a little dry at the top, as you will figure out soon once you start mixing away. Yeah, so I'm going to give this a quick stir, add some air. Oh, look at that. See, I appreciate this. It's harder to see, I guess, because my jar's there. But now to you, this might just look like some random man stirring some flour and water, as that's basically what it is. But if you go through the upcoming series, it'll go through a week of making your own sourdough. You're going to appreciate this. You're going to say, oh man, Got some good texture, getting some oxygen in there. You'll learn all about why oxygen's really good. I'm just going to quickly share. Oxygenating your sourdough is amazing because it gives, well, oxygen into it, which helps create more yeast because you've got the good bacteria and the yeast growing in this jar of goodness, and you want a good balance. So when you mix more air, it helps the bacteria to yeast ratio solidify, and that'll give your bread more rise and better flavor overall and more nice holes. See the little holes in the baked bread at the end? It's just like, yeah, that was yeastified. Okay. Good yeast for you. Okay, so let's go like this. Let's just add a hefty, hearty scoop. Inoculation. See, I'm not much about specifics. I'm a very simple man here. I like to, because I'm not using a traditional tablespoon, I'm just going to do that. Why not? So this is rye flour sourdough starter. And, well, that's all you got to do is add it there. Now, the recipe said it's optional. And she said that it would just ferment. It says sourdough starter, but then it says optional. I think, so you can literally just do this with water. And if you're watching this and you do try this with water and no starter, please leave me a comment and let me know how it goes. I'll probably end up trying that as an A-B comparison. It's just going to take more time to ferment. I'm going to move this off the table. But again, I don't really understand yet why it would ferment if there's not a starter in there. Maybe the water would break down the oats to use that bacteria. Something I got to look more into, but yeah. So maybe you give it a try. Let me know. Okay, so now we just add water to this and let it soak, and to the 1 liter mark, she said. Now, as this is a 2-liter jar, whatever you want to call it, I'm just going to fill it up halfway with water. Clean water, obviously, non-chlorinated, because chlorine kills bacteria. And bacteria, regardless of what you may think, is good for you, depending on the type, of course. Okay, so I'm going to fill her up to the halfway mark. Looks about right. Cool. Doing that. Oh, I see bubbles. Obviously not fermentation bubbles, but it's bubbles. Bubbles are good. Okay, so I'm gonna put this lid back on, and now just give it a stir. So now having some fun. I would be playing some Christmas music typically when I'm doing these kind of things this season. Obviously there'd be issues with that right now, but that's typically what I do. I like to just turn on the Christmas tunes, especially on the weekends, and ferment and stir whatever's in my jar. It's a good meditative practice. Kind of like it, obviously, as I keep doing it. Okay, you're preserving food and preserving your health at the same time. Okay. I don't know how much. I'm just kind of zoning out and stirring. Let me stop. Okay, so there we go. You stir your oats, water, and starter. Oats, water? No, it doesn't rhyme. Thought I had a Dr. Seuss moment going on there. And let me just put this is going to be an aerobic ferment, meaning it needs oxygen. And if you're fermenting like pickles and stuff, that's anaerobic, no oxygen, because that bacteria is different and doesn't want oxygen. Okay. Scientific explanation. Early morning, just to remind you here. So there we go. My breakfast is cooking for the next 24 to 48 hours, or 12 to 48 hours. Now, as I have a starter in there, it should be faster. However, it is rather cold here, and that slows down fermentation as well. I'm trying to solve that problem because honestly, down here, what time do I have? I got to get going. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not late for work. That's important. Sorry, I was busy stirring oatmeal. Anyways, so there's the oats. Yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, I'm trying to solve the cold issue. Obviously, when you're doing stuff like kefir and check this out, guys and gals. And the term guys means girls and guys when it's used. I don't know. When you say, hey guys, yeah. Water kefir grains. I got water kefir. I've been dealing with the dairy kefir, the milk kefir. quite a bit. Love it. Honestly, it's daily for me now. And how has it been making me feel? Honestly, great. Now, before I started drinking kefir, I never really drank cow milk, honestly. I only had like coconut milk in my coffee, obviously, like the canned stuff without all the garbage in it. Yeah, so I've been doing just like pure coconut milk. But now because the kefir fermentation gets rid of the lactose, and um, I don't feel any negative effects from it. And honestly, I feel much more energetic after drinking the kefir. I've noticed, like, on my walks on the hills after drinking, it's like, oh, I think I'm going to jog up today. That never happened before. I don't know. Because one thing I've been learning is fermentation increases vitamin B's quite a bit. One of the many benefits of fermentation. Um, as I have an audience of 0, I'm going to hold on the quiz here, but let me just pretend that this channel is rocking it and I got like 100 people there watching and they're all saying, I want to learn about the health benefits of fermentation. Okay, how's this? What are 4 benefits of fermenting your foods? Everyone in the chat, audience of 0, answer me and I will see if you can guess them all. 0. Let me just share a couple things here. Very, very basic stuff, but yeah. So 4 benefits of fermenting foods. 1, it eases digestibility because it pre-digests the foods. It breaks down the nutrients within through the fermentation process. And 2, to help increase the digestive benefits, it also increases the enzymes in the food, which you naturally have in your body to break down nutrients. For example, when you're chewing, that's why it's so important to chew and mix up your saliva, because what you want is the enzymes in your saliva to start breaking down the carbohydrates, the fats, the proteins, all that kind of stuff before you even swallow it. And then that just makes it much easier for your intestines to eventually just absorb that nutrients. And basically, you need enzymes to convert food into the nutrients your body needs. What am I at? Is that 2? Yeah. And then 3 is it honestly just enhances the vitamin content of the food you're eating. For example, vitamin B's is a big one, which is rather important. Vitamin B's do a whole lot in terms of even just detox, brain, mental, energy, everything. And stress reducing, vitamin B's are very, very important. Um, what else am I talking about here? And the 4th one, oh yeah, it just preserves food. Like, check this out. I probably saved a couple cents on my refrigerator bill just because I never put my milk in the fridge anymore. It's always just on the counter, fermenting away. And that's how people preserved food back in the day, to help sustain. That's the whole point of fermentation, sustaining the food. And yeah, your health obviously is a nice side benefit. Yeah, so anyway, there's 4 benefits of fermentation, my spiel. And that all started with this water kefir grains. Now I got this. Here's the deal. Water kefir grains. Now these are dehydrated, okay? I've never done this before. Yay, that's Japanese. What am I? Okay, I got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I got to wrap this up, guys and gals. So I'm going to start this on Sunday. I'm going to go live on Sunday as well. Here's an announcement for 0 people in there who care. I'm going to be live on Sunday, and I'm going to be making using sourdough starter, because I got a whole bunch, and I'm going to be making some crepes out of it, sourdough crepes. I'm going to try adding, because I'm into nutrition, I'm going to try adding some spirulina to it to make them green, and see what I can do in terms of shaping them for some holiday sourdough crepes. I'm going to try to make a soury Grinch, but obviously I don't know how in the world I would do that without a mold. I think I have a star mold, no, a heart and a circle. Maybe I'll make circles. Anyways, I'll make some crepes for the family. Throw some spirulina in there to make them green and healthy. um, yeah, see how that goes. I've never done that before, but it's a very simple recipe. You will probably be wanting to see that if you are going to be making sourdough anyway. So experimentation. Now, I'm going to be starting my festive ferments experiments yet again. I'm going to be making buckwheat cereal. Now, buckwheat grains, buckwheat in general is just really good. So I'm going to be using buckwheat grains and fermenting it with kefir. We'll be making that and adding some figs, nutmeg, cinnamon, and making festive buckwheat cereal fermenting for that. I'm going to start the fermentation process, or maybe I'll start that before and just reveal to you the final product, whatever I end up on Sunday. And I'm also going to be doing some blueberries. I won't be doing that live just because time and I might not have all the ingredients yet, but I want to be trying to ferment blueberries next as well. I heard that's really good. So that's something coming up. And yeah, so anyways, I'm going to be experimenting with my festive ferments on Sunday, which will include the cereal, results, or making, and then sourdough starter crepes. And spirulina involves. And maybe I'll have some more oats to share the result of this, but I am going to be eating these as soon as they're done, so might miss out on that. Now, another thing I'm going to be doing with this channel here is, oh yeah, I'm going to be starting the water kefir. That's kind of what started this. This is going to take me 5 rounds, apparently, of rehydrating. So honestly, if I start on Sunday, I want to be making water, fig, ginger, kefir for a festive, bubbly drink, nutritious and delicious, hopefully. But it's honestly going to take me, if I start on Sunday, until the 22nd of December to have these babies rehydrated. Now, I really want that. And because on the 23rd or the 22nd, I can start my secondary ferment of the figs and the festivity flavors of this and make a bubbly, amazing, delicious water kefir. And what I want to do with these ferments that I'm working on is share it with my local friends. Like, I absolutely love going to a cafe and meeting a nice owner and just, making friends with them and enjoying their coffees. And I love sharing that kind of environment with people. And anyways, what I want to do is I want to go to my cafe owning friends and just say, hey, I made this water kefir, festive, Merry Christmas. Or hey, I made this festive sourdough fig walnut bread. Here, try some. And I just want to leave them my email address, share my best ferments, and ask them to just write me a review. That's all I want. I just want their honest opinion on my best fermentation practice. Well, it just makes me feel good to share my creations and healthy things with other people. Makes me happy. And I like to see the interest in certain people saying, oh, why is this good for you? Because I'm a nutrition guy. I love to talk about it. Why is this good for me? Or how is this better? Or I love to just share and see the intrigue in people. And if they like it, it provides me great joy, gives me a reason to keep experimenting aside from feeding the family and myself. Yeah, it just makes me happy. So if I can get a couple good reviews on my creations, that would just be ultimately rewarding and provide me something to look forward to every month, really, in general. So that is that. I hope my coffee is still warm. I believe it is in this thermos. But yeah, guys and gals, I am off for now. Thanks for tuning in. I think I went public this time. Last time I was streaming privately. Not that it made much of a difference here in terms of audience, but hey, one day maybe. Okay, so yes. So that is how to make oatmeal ferment. That is a random sourdough starter. My new pop top, some water kefir, and some milk kefir. What do you know? The fermentation station is alive and well this morning. Yeah, okay, so I gotta go get ready for work, and I'll see you guys rather soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and if you make these oats, let me know how it goes in the comments. I'd love to hear, and stay tuned for some future fun recipes and the sourdough series starting up. I just edited the first intro video. Super stoked about how that one turned out. But yeah, upwards and onwards. Okay, see you guys. Ending stream. Done.